sell bond, the amount of $1,250,000 for the purpose of increasing the working cash fund of the district. Is there anybody who'd like to address the board? Any public comment? Okay. Last, I think 3 times. Is there anybody wishing to address the board? Finally, anybody wishing to address the board? Perfect. Do I have a motion to close this hearing at 5:39 p.m.?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion by Janeski, seconded by Hicks to adjourn the meeting at 5:32 p.m. Hart?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
Janeski?
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote.
Now, if you can do that next meeting as quick as that one.
Is everybody got it? Maybe Good evening and welcome to this regularly scheduled meeting of the Oakwood 76 Board of Education. I'll call this meeting to order at 5:38 p.m. Roll call, please.
Hart. Here. Janeski.
Here.
Hicks. Here. Lynn.
Here.
Ludwig.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Woodard.
Here.
Please stand and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Agenda item 4, public participation, recognition of guests and communications. Do we have any communications this month? No. Okay. Anybody wish to address the board? Okay. Agenda item 5, Mr. Charlie Hill.
Oh, Lou.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I put yes on the thing. I didn't know.
I didn't even,
You're quite all right.
come on up.
Would you like me to come up there?
Yes, please.
Try to keep it brief, Bob. Now I've got 3 minutes. I made some notes, try to keep on task. You guys know I stand here, many different hats. I'm really honestly here mostly as a taxpayer this evening, but of course, it's hard sometimes to draw that line between employee and taxpayer. I am sure you are well aware of the heating issues that we had in the new part of the building this week. As an employee, I understood the difficulties, the reasoning behind moving us. We had the internet issues. I know, Chris, I know the internet issues. We knew the boiler was going to go out. I'd like to point out, though, it's still working. But it was going to happen eventually. Michelle worked one of her miracles in funding and found money, and it had to kind of be used. I get all that. As a taxpayer, I had questions, and I never really understood some of the decisions about leaving Newtown. The feasibility study that was done when Gary Lewis was here showed that it really didn't save any money to shut it down and all of the money that had been put into the building. They spent money on upgrading the power, doing the windows, the lighting, among many other things. And when it was abandoned as a taxpayer, that just didn't make sense to me because that was a lot of money. I think over $1 million went into that building. The heating units that they installed at Newtown, when they did it, Jerry, who I trusted and still do, said, these are not going to work. You can't get rid of the boiler to use these kind of heating units. And they said, no, it'll be fine. Guess what? You couldn't use those kind of heating units. We still had to use the boiler. The heating units worked in the early spring, fall, early winter, but then it got to the point it was too cold and you still had to file that boiler up. We knew eventually that boiler was going to go out. That was a problem. When the new building happened so quickly, I know Jerry tried to address a few different concerns. Some of them were the heating units. Some of them were the power. The power to each room isn't sufficient. We had just done all these upgrades. We have all this technology. We added, extra outlets, more power to be available, stronger breakers. That was a Jerry thing, not a me thing. So, and he addressed the heating units that they are not going to work. And obviously this past week has showed us they didn't work and they're not sufficient. And I understand with newer stuff, you have these electronics and it's just not like it used to be and things are more disposable. When the ones up at Newtown went out of warranty, Jerry fixed them. He kept parts on. He used to argue, guys, with the superintendents about having parts on hand. They'd say, you don't need these parts. And he'd say, I need these parts on hand. My kids aren't going to be cold. My people aren't going to be cold. And he'd fix them. As a taxpayer, I hope the current units are still under warranty. I don't know. I hope whoever installed them or manufactured them is going to be responsible for at least paying the district back, maybe for the space heaters that they put in. I'm not here to cast blame on anybody, simply to ask that as we look to the future and we look at infrastructure improvements and building plans, that the proper time and research is done to avoid this situation again. Sometimes the cheapest option isn't the best option. It was not a very pleasant week. And guys, I keep my house at like 66 or below, so I really am not one of those people that keeps it high. It was cold. It was miserable. It just wasn't good. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Graham. Does anybody else wish to address the board? Okay. Agenda item 5, Charlie Hill.
So I invited, Charlie is the area manager for Prairie Path Water Company. I know last month when we talked about approving a test well agreement with Prairie Path Water, Clay had some questions that I couldn't answer. So I invited Charlie here tonight because if you'll see later on in the agenda, the test well agreement is on the agenda again. So I thought if anybody had any questions, instead of me guessing, I invited him here to answer. So that's why he's here.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Hill?
The only thing I had, Charlie, was, well, I had two things that I brought up, if I remember correctly. With that being in mind, when you drill down, can you go through a pillar of coal versus go through that shaft? Because that shaft is filled with water, we had an engineer in here tell us that, you either want to keep them wet or you want to keep them dry. And if you poke a hole in it, I mean, is it going to drain it?
Yes. So part of the permitting process, in order to install a well, you have to get a permit from the Illinois Department of Public Health. And they have a map, or they have records of where these mine shafts are, and they will not approve a well in a location where there is a mine shaft exists currently. I've been told that the location that we've chosen for this test well does not overlap with any of that. Of course, sometimes these records are not complete, so if we were to drill down and find a shaft, we'd have to abandon it. And that's not just like a Prairie Path policy, that's would be required just by the state of Illinois. So in a perfect world, we would not be drilling through any existing mine shafts. So hopefully we would not run into any of those problems.
Okay. And have you had conversation with the producer that rents the property off of us, the farmer?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
We've only spoken to you guys as of right now.
Because he would be the one that would have to deal with any compaction issues, and depending on how big of an area that would be, he would be the one that would have to deal with trying to get the ground back to.
And we were mindful of that. And based off my conversations with the well driller, the local well driller, is that he has not run into any of those issues with farmers in his experience of putting these wells in. Of course, we want to be mindful and be respectful as we proceed with a project like this. And we would make it right if he did have any concerns. It's a small footprint too. It's not like a giant building or anything like that. I imagine it's kind of compacted to maybe like a 50 by 50 square foot.
Okay. When are you looking at doing it?
As soon as we get approval, we'll get the ball rolling. So really, as soon as you give us the green light, we would start to we would proceed. Of course, we'd have the conversation with the farmer first, just to make sure that.
Because I mean, if you get, I mean, it's January now. I don't know. You're relying upon the state for the permitting process, correct?
It's the Department of Public Health, so it's a little bit easier to obtain those.
So if we get into April, he's gonna be, trying to plan it.
My understanding is that the permitting process for that would be relatively quick. And so if we got the approval, then we would move forward as soon as the weather would allow us. And of course, the farmer and you guys. Right.
Okay.
So when you say 50 by 50, so let's say that you put that rig up and you do your test well and it's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
What size footprint is that going to be that the farmer's going to have to look at?
It becomes much smaller once everything's installed in place. That 50 by 50 really allows you to get heavy machinery in there and to, you can imagine it's a large well drilling rig that it takes up some space. But once that is in place, all of that gets packed up and moved away. And then it's a much smaller footprint. The closest one I can kind of think of is the one on 150 outside of Muncie and 50. I mean, it's a fairly small well. It's probably 20 by 20 at that point. But I mean, if size and space was a concern, we could of course.
Are you looking at possibly locating that wellhead if you do. Because of course, we have long-term plans for that property and wouldn't want a wellhead in the middle of the outfield of the baseball field.
Of course. I think the wellhead is a fairly permanent fixture, but of course, hopefully we could work with you guys to find somewhere on the property that would allow us to achieve both our goals, long-term goals.
So where you, I guess, because this shows my ignorance, where you put the test well isn't necessarily where you would put the wellhead. You just,
Not necessarily, you're correct. You don't have to necessarily do that, but I think the closer you can get to that test well, the better chances you have of replicating the results of the test well.
I see, yeah.
But I do know from our conversation when I met with you three guys, as the diagrams have been presented by the architect, the test well that's on the farmhouse side would be outside of what's been proposed for the outfield for the baseball diamond. The other test well that they were talking about doing would be to the south and would be quote unquote kind of where the parking lot would be. I don't remember if that was for the football stadium or. Now, that being said, I don't know, once again, looking at a rendering, if that actually would be where the parking lot would be, or if it would be not in that imprint. But I guess once again, if they get the first one, there wouldn't be a need for a second one? Or are you gonna run two no matter what?
In a perfect world, we would get two, but we hate to put the cart before the horse. You know, you never know what the quality of the water is going to be like, and that's really the purpose of the test well, is to assess what the aquifer looks like down there. But if everything proceeded according to plan, we would come back here and we would request another one. There are a handful of other options along that vein of water that was located. If for whatever reason you guys felt like it didn't fit well with your long-term plans, we would be willing to take whatever we could get. So if you would only approve one, that would be fine. But we would like to, if we could do.
What remains after the test well? So after you come in, what's left? I mean, physically on site, is it pipe? Is it?
My understanding is that the test well is complete, they actually fill it back in, and then they would drill another one, a permanent well next to it. And so what's left is kind of just like a 4-inch casing left in the ground. That would be plugged and sealed.
Okay.
To prevent future contamination.
Is it like, so far, how many feet below the surface would it be?
How deep would we be going?
Well, no, if to cap that. I mean, so it's not 6 inches, so if they're working ground through there, he doesn't hit it with his chisel plow.
My understanding is that we could cap that off wherever we need to. So if you needed it 5 feet deep, we could do that, no problem. I think typically they're capped at the surface though. But that would be easily accommodated. We could accommodate that request.
Okay.
Mr. Miller, know we're doing this?
That would be good.
Well, he's aware,
Is it?
yeah.
Okay.
He stopped by our house and we spoke a little bit, but I mentioned that to him. So, I mean, if he hasn't reached out to you, then he must not have much concern, so.
Any other questions, Mr. Hill? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Nothing to it.
Agenda item 6, consent agenda. Hope everybody had a chance to review the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Lynn, to approve the consent agenda items as submitted. Hart. Yes. Hicks. Yes. Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Yes.
motion carried by roll vote 1.
Agenda item 7, FOIA requests. We had none this month. Agenda item 8, OEA report. Ms. Grimm,
I do have a statement to read. Can everybody hear me from here, or do you want me to come back up there?
I can,
Okay. The Oakwood Education Association, OEA Insurance Committee would like to share the following statement. On December 18th, 2024, all district employees received an email from a unit office employee that stated, quote, "It has come to our attention that if you did not sign into the Employee Navigator in August and pick your benefits, you do not have vision insurance. The union chose to change vision insurance companies, and the new company downloaded the names from the Employee Navigator for their enrollment," end quote. OEA Insurance Committee members fielded several questions about this email from members. While the intent of the email may not have been to cast blame on the OEA Insurance Committee, that is how it is interpreted by many members. Wesley Miller, our OEA president, contacted Mr. Mulvaney and was under the impression that a retraction would be sent out to clarify the situation. Neither a retraction or a statement of clarification were ever sent. For the record, the OEA Insurance Committee would like to state that the change was recommended by the Insurance Committee, which consists of a team made up of the superintendent, board members, and OEA members. The agenda for the July 24th, 2024 special board meeting shows under item 5B, quote, "Recommendation to approve the new Oakwood CUSD number 76 health plan as approved by the Insurance Committee on June 18th of 2024. We believe some of the confusion resulted from an email that was sent to employees from the school district on July 29th of 2024 that stated, again, quote, "If you do not log into the online system, your current elections will default for the 24-25 plan year." This was standard practice in previous years. However, due to the changes recommended by the Insurance Committee and approved by the Board of Education, the current elections did not default as usual, and this contributed to members losing their vision coverage until the situation was corrected. Thank you.
can I ask you a quick clarify? Has it been corrected? That's the intent of the end. You're saying it was corrected at the end though, right?
Everybody that I know that did not have vision coverage,
It's been corrected.
I do believe it has been corrected.
Okay. I just wanted to double check that. Any other questions for Ms. Grimm? Thank you. Agenda item 9, administrative reports. Superintendent, Mr. Mulvaney.
It's not an action item. I was approached by Coach McFarland about a batting cage proposal that he's working on with the village and with Little League, where he would like to put in a double hitting cage down at the park, which would benefit both high school baseball, high school softball, and the youth leagues. That proposal in total comes out to around $9,500. I think he said that the village has committed some dollars to that. Youth sports has committed dollars to that. He's willing to commit dollars from the high school baseball team to that project. And he was wondering if the district would be willing to commit dollars to that as well. I think it's probably a very worthwhile endeavor for both softball and baseball for the community and for both school districts, the junior high grade school and the high school. I'm not sure exactly what that dollar amount is yet, but I told him that I would bring that to the board. And like I said, I think it's a very worthwhile project. It's not overly expensive. It benefits all the kids in the community. So when I have those dollar amounts to you, I will probably ask the board for some money to help get that project done. We will be posting the payroll HR director position. As you all know, Dinah's retiring, and we've had some conversations about trying to get somebody on board as soon as possible to come on and train with her and pick her brain and use her experience to get that position up and running full steam. So that posting will be coming out probably in the next 2 weeks. I don't know if you've been following national politics. In case you did not hear, a federal court ruled against a lot of the Title IX rules that was brought forward with this last administration. Not trying to be political here, but we are reverting to 2020 Title IX policies, both state and federal. I don't know if anybody's heard any community comments about that. I don't know that anybody's really sure what those ramifications are going to be yet. I think for most school districts, it's it's basically making sure that our females have opportunities within their reporting and access to fair reporting and consequences of rape allegations. Basically, transgender participation in sports, access to locker rooms and bathrooms from the transgender population. Those were things that were brought to schools, not just schools, but that's what impacts us. Through this last administration's changes to Title IX, we don't know exactly what that fallout's going to be yet, but I wanted to make you aware that that's something that we could see down the road, coming back up through, in my opinion, the State Board of Education, how Illinois is going to deal with that. It's caused some concern within the education community in Illinois. So if I hear anything, we'll be having those conversations again, because I do think it impacts us, and whatever guidelines that we get moving forward, we'll deal with. So as Luann commented, it's been a chilly few days in the junior high wing. Took us a couple days longer to get our compressor. It was installed yesterday. And of course, during installation, they cracked the sensor. So we had to get another sensor, but they were back today working on it and wired it so that we do have heat coming through our units now. And I know John's going to hop in tomorrow morning and check the temperature and if need be, fire up the space heaters, at least in the morning, to get the rooms back up to speed. But when I was over there today, I mean, I hopped into Miss Johnson's office, and it was 60 degrees in her office when I hopped in there around lunch. And then I went and had a conversation with Luann, and by the time I got back into Miss Johnson's office, it was already 64. So I know there was, I wouldn't say hot air coming through the units, but there was warm air coming through the units. For whatever reason, some of the hall heaters did not get wired up when they got the project completed. So I know John had them out, and we got hall heaters wired up, which certainly would have made a difference last week when we were just using all space heaters. But all John was trying, we were doing what we could do to try to make the kids comfortable. It wasn't, it wasn't perfect, but it was what we could do. And so that's what we did. And So hopefully tomorrow will be a lot more comfortable for the kids and the staff, and the HVAC people can get this tuned up right, so we don't have to deal with that anymore. John is also working on getting the boiler fired up down at Newtown. I know the cheerleaders have thought it was a little bit chilly in the gym, which I'm sure it was when it was minus 15 out this morning, but we're working on that as well. Sometimes old and new buildings need a little maintenance, and so we're working on that. Last meeting, I discussed the quitclaim deed on the property at Diamond, and so that process is finalizing. Mr. Wolf had as you know, on in your board packets, there's an action item to do the bus leases. I added something that some of you may not have seen because our technology director could not make this technology work the way I wanted it to. I'm not throwing you under the bus, Chris. But anyway, just so you know, basically we're sending some buses back. We think we're going to save the district about $100,000 with this current lease, the way we're restructuring it. And we're releasing some buses, and we're letting some buses go back that basically were serving no purpose. So hopefully that $100,000 over the next couple of years will build up and will benefit us. But I think that's all I have for my report, unless you have some questions for me. Unless you do have questions about action item A, which is the is the building, the new roof. I do have some, in case you did not keep these, I wanted to pass out the options just so you have them at your disposal. And just kind of reiterate, basically option A was basically $1.9 million. Option B was approximately 2.1. The one difference, I have been negotiating with Verigy. Part of the proposal was a maintenance agreement that I thought was a little heavy. But I told them I think, we will deal with for the first year, but then we will have options on whether we want to continue to maintain that maintenance agreement with them or not, which would lower the costs of both projects. So, and you can see that in the handout I just gave you. So that's all I've got.
I have 3 questions.
Yes.
Regarding the heat, who's doing the repairs? Is that outsourced or internal?
You mean as far as putting the compressor up and doing that? Who'd you say it was, John?
United Mechanical out of Champaign.
Is that the company that installed everything?
Company that installed it.
Yeah.
Is it under warranty?
The parts are,
Labor not.
labor not. And that's typical because, when parts go down, most people won't, unless it's a labor issue, they won't warranty the work for labor after that.
And then, did we have any parent complaints?
I had a conversation with a parent who just basically wanted to make sure that the children, the kids, were allowed to dress comfortably. I had a conversation with Ms. Johnson about just making, reiterating to our teachers that, if kids need to be bundled up, we let them bundle up so that they were comfortable. But I did not, I only had one conversation with one parent who sits on this board. So, no, you know,
What about you guys? Did you guys
I
get?
just had one email.
Okay.
So, and we might explain, I don't think they knew about the space heaters at the time, so they explained that we had space heaters in every classroom, and she just wanted to know an estimated time that it would get fixed.
There wasn't really a lot that went out, right? Make parents aware.
So it just would have been that if the kids came home complaining.
well, and here's part of that. I think part of that, we could have sent something out,
Oh, yeah.
but I mean, when before the kids even came back, John and I had been communicating and the rooms were basically around 70 degrees, which we certainly wouldn't have had a much warmer if the units had still been functioning. So, you know, once again, my biggest concern was that we didn't have kids getting into them and messing with them or teachers trying to turn them up and down. But I know the Tuesday morning after the kids came back from break, most of those rooms were around 70 degrees. So that's why we really didn't send anything out.
Is there any worry about, is it next week that the weather's supposed to drop? Really?
There's always worry, but I mean, minus 50, you know, I mean, they were saying last night minus 15.
But the cause wasn't from a cold weather surge or anything?
No, that compressor just was bad.
It was just one compressor?
Yes. Don't say anything more. We don't want to be jinxed with another compressor. So. And you know what? If it happens, we'll work to make it so it's at least doable. So.
Does it make sense for us to order?
Extra compressors?
Yeah, I don't know, any extra, or to even ask United Mechanical to guarantee in stock or anything.
John, did they get the compressor? Or did you have to go through someone else to order that
They
compressor?
got the compressor.
Okay.
They came out and told me the compressor was bad. At the time, when they took it out, they did not want me to run it because it would run the second compressor. They will only warranty the first one at this time because we chose to run the unit that's on the other one. Now, what they did was they put the new compressor in yesterday, lost track of days. And when they would put it in, they were, the sensor that they were working on, with it being cold, they just cracked it right away. So we are running on both compressors now, but we're only at half because the sensor has to tell this what to do. So they've adjusted it so that we can run two compressors, which are overriding that sensor, which we shouldn't be. They say we can only do this for about 3 or 4 days. They're hoping that sensor comes in at that time.
And are they covering that cost,
For what?
the sensor?
I have not had that conversation, but that's one that Bill and I have had, and we were going to approach them that was part of theirs.
Well, if they crack the sensor on the new compressor, that should be on us. So yes, I'll ask that they cover that. That's on them, not us.
I think it would be beneficial, I guess, to just try to make a proactive plan to foresee any, I don't know what that looks like, or if it's happening.
John, what's the compressor run?
$1,500.
I mean, I don't mind having one on hand. If the board's fine with paying $1,500 to have a spare compressor, I can certainly tell them to order it. That's for sure.
We do not, at this time, we don't even carry an extra compressor for our other units. We pretty much can get it the next day or the day of. Rogers usually carries them in stock, so we don't have to worry about it. I think it was only 2, maybe 3 days at tops I got this one.
But minus 15 is minus 15. You don't want to spend 2 or 3 days waiting for a compressor, and then it takes them another day or two to put it in. So if the board wants to, if you want to direct me to,
I'm not
Buy a
saying
spare
that is a
compressor.
solution, but just, is there any options for us to be proactively planning for?
other than having a spare, I don't know what that
I don't know
proactive
if they-
solution
can
would be.
They check the current compressors to see how they're performing, would that be beneficial or?
Do we know why
Waste of
that
time or
compressor
money.
went out, John?
No. It's just a false compressor, or it's really hard to say. I mean, there could be hundreds of things that could have malfunctioned that compressor. That's just like when we have the ones that the rest of the building, they're running almost 15 years old now, probably.
Okay.
So they can go out at any time too. I've had to put several of those in.
Are they all the same compressor? Do we want?
No, the ones on the junior high are different than the rest of the building. The junior high also carries heat in these compressors, and the units carry heat in the hallways, where the rest of our building does not.
But we did activate the heat in the hallways, so that should help in the future.
The hallway was definitely a little bit warmer today than it was last Monday, I can tell you that. So. No, I mean, once again, if the board would like for me to get a spare compressor, I mean, certainly we can talk to the mechanical company and see
I
what
mean, I
that
don't
would
think
be
it makes
like.
sense if something's gonna sit for potentially 15 years. But I
We
just
can't
don't know.
always guarantee that that's gonna be what goes out on
Yeah.
it too.
I just-
So, yeah, you're right.
7 different parts to each.
But you ask it.
How many units are on the roof there?
There's two of them. One feeds the west end, one feeds the south end, so there's 4 compressors there.
Yeah.
And then there's a bigger unit in the middle that takes your free air and circulates your air in and out. But there's no guarantee anymore because of the way the economy is, and after COVID, it's hard to get parts for anything. So it's not just this unit. The other unit could go down, we may have to wait 3 or 4 days on something to get to, so. There's just no guarantees of when these units are gonna go down or what's gonna happen to them. The sensor, if they hadn't broke it, we would have been just fine, but when you're up there working on the roof at 20 below zero, and they've been pretty good about being there in this cold weather to try to get us up and running.
Anything else from Mr. Mulvaney? Thank you, sir. Curriculum, Ms. Kimbrough.
I don't have anything new that's not in my report.
Do we have any questions for Ms. Kimbrough? Thank you. High school principal, Ms. Smith.
There's just one thing that I want to highlight in my report. The Vermilion County basketball tournament and cheer is coming up here soon on Friday. And the Vermilion County Principal Association nominated Juice to be the honoree for Vermilion County. So she will be presented a plaque and award at halftime of the championship game on Saturday night. It's a really big deal for Vermilion County, so if you happen to be there, we'd love to share it. She is not excited about being in front of everyone, but I think her daughters are going to come. But I wanted to just also share that. It was in her report as well.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Smith?
No, but thank you for putting all the schedule in
Yes.
your report. I appreciated that. Yeah. Thank you.
The highlighted red ones, were those anything in particular?
Come back to me.
I think just dismissal and no school days.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about the calendar dates? Yeah. I'll have more to add and send out for next month as well.
Assistant principal, AD, Mr. Steele.
Like Aaron said, we're starting county basketball this week and county cheer Saturday. We just wrapped up county and conference wrestling last week and our OSF wrestling team won that. great crowd, a lot of people there. Had a couple hires, but I don't need to really go through that. One thing I know Mr. Mulvaney, we talked about was esports, making sure we have to go on that with Mr. Colvin. I attached his proposal and everything to my board report. And then the other thing is I spoke with Coach Fenton on some things about a water wheel or something for water for the soccer field in that summer. I had some things attached there, some links to look at that he might be looking at. He says that he can do a lot of the labor if needed. So I just attached those to that and see what maybe we can come up with if possible. Other than that, nothing.
I would like to interject. So I kind of dropped the ball on this, and I apologize, Zach. I probably should have had that as an action item, the esports thing, and had discussion on it. I know we did that at my old district 5 years ago, and the number of kids involved in esports to start that year was probably 7. I think now they've got about 14, where Armstrong's certainly a smaller district than Oakwood, but it's another one of those kinds of things that we can get your non-typical student athletes involved in that have a lot of after-school time that they can dedicate. And we just felt there that it was just another opportunity to get more of our students involved. And I think it's a very cheap sport. I mean, I think we bought a couple of small screen TVs and a couple of controllers, and they were good to go. So it will certainly be on next month's agenda to approve an esport team. I might, since I'm an interim, and if you want to fire me at the end of next month, that would be fine. I might just go ahead and tell Mr. Steele that he's got my approval to go ahead with that. And then the board can decide in February whether you want to back my play on that or not. But I kind of feel like I dropped the ball on that. And when's that supposed to start? I think the regionals are maybe in March, so they probably need to get going.
They start in February. And Mrs. Young from Westville, their AD, sent out a little county schedule and everything. And it's a little bit of travel. I know when Mr. Colvin first, he sent out a survey to all the students. He did a lot of work and research on it. He had like 30 kids that were interested. So I don't know how many of those would commit, but they were certainly interested.
Are they on the schedule?
Yeah.
Okay, so if they're on the schedule.
I think you can only play like 5 guys.
Sounds to me like
5
it's a
people.
go.
They have those two.
I reached out to some of the county ADs and just, like you guys had, what is this like and how many times you get together, and Miss Young sent me a schedule and they plug us in to be in it.
Good. I don't think we should fire him over it. That's just mine.
Well, they wouldn't have to play in the regionals, but it'd probably be a great experience for most of those kids. And I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, Dak's got one of the best esports teams in the country. And that has turned into a huge thing at Dak. Oh, by the way, they give full ride scholarships for that now. So it's just another opportunity for our kids to have something in school that can lead them to college and get their college paid for. So I think it's a good idea for the district.
Mr. Steele, I do have a question.
Yeah,
Is there travel, or do you just sit like in a lab here?
they do travel. They're asking us to host a few of those matches.
Where would we host it? Like in the gym or?
I think in the library would be fine.
Okay.
Or just put a couple TVs up and have enough room for, people to kind of hang out and spread out and stuff.
Is Dak hosting a tournament again this year?
I don't know about.
They typically host a tournament. I know they've hosted like the regional, or it may just be a sectional. They may not even do a regional now, but I know they've hosted for the last few years. So
Do we have everything we need or would there be?
I think so. It's in the proposal and he said that like, I feel like this year it's kind of, I think we have what we need to go ahead and go forward. And then maybe like in the future, they can upgrade a few things, but I think they're pretty good. I'll check with them again. I think we're.
That's supposed to mean that we have everything we need, because I would think we did, so.
Well, I think
I've never seen that proposal, so I don't know.
I think with him,
Does he have his own consoles and
I think
everything?
between him and some of the kids,
Okay.
yeah, I think they have the stuff needed to start up. From what his research.
Are they computer games or are they like consoles?
They'd be console games.
Console.
Most of them are done on like Switch, I think like Super Smash Brothers, stuff like that.
They could use mine too. We play it. I have the things that look at the medium ones. I just got 2 new controllers.
Sounds like a team captain right there.
Any other questions for Mr. Steele? Thank you. Grade school principal, PK, Ms. Lepenis.
So I do have invites to the Balloons Over Vermillion, that's a mouthful, Ambassador Class Award. So we are receiving another award from them. We did receive one prior to this one that we used to help fund that playground in the courtyard. So this one is $2,500. And that is because Tiffany Johnson's 4th grade class last year was the ambassador group. So we will be going to accept that award on March 11th. And obviously all of you are invited to join us if you're available that day. So Tiffany asked me to pass out some official invitations to you tonight. So we're excited about that and very thankful. I think that'll go a long way with our positive behavior team and our student incentives. So we're excited for that. And then just one additional note, Project Success is coming back. We got word today. So looks like the go date is March 24th, which is right after spring break. We'll serve students grades 1 through 8, approximately 90 or so. So we're in the beginning stages of now planning out where we're going to house everybody. Gym space is not available typically, so we have an admin meeting, the 3 of us tomorrow, to come up with some initial plans regarding that. But I know I already have some parents that have reached out for applications.
Refresh my memory, have they lost their funding?
They did, yes. So we
What
haven't-
grants are they operating on, do you know?
don't, off the top, I don't remember when it was, because we had applied for a big one and didn't get that, and then they were trying for something different. So Kimberly reached out today and said we're a go.
And I think it's for the remainder of this year and summer, right? That's all
And
that's
summer,
approved so
yep.
far, so we don't know what fall next year.
Right. So we know at least through summer, and we are looking at the possibility of hosting summer school again in conjunction with Project. So lots of plans to put in place.
Any question from Ms. Lepenis? Thank you. Assistant principal, Ms. Acton.
Only 2 things to add on. In February, I've been asked to speak at the Muncie Baptist Fithian Church and with Heather McCarty. They would like to help support our efforts with our students. So they just want to hear more about it, learn about the Comet Closet, and just see how they can help us, especially maybe do some things that would go into the summer, like summer bags for kids. So that was a great opportunity. And the second thing is that the Regional Office of Education reached out late yesterday, and it sounds like we are going to get a grant of about $1,000, possibly $2,000 to help with restocking our closet as well as supplies. So that will go a long way. So thankful for both of those organizations.
Any questions for Ms. Acton? Thank you. Assistant principal AD, Ms. Johnson.
I didn't have anything other than if you guys have any questions about the board report. See?
2 in a row?
You know, it's 2025, Bob. You're here to do this.
Any questions for Ms. Johnson?
Oh, I have one,
Oh,
sir.
yeah.
How many 8th grade students do you have? 50. So half, approximately half are trying to go to New York.
Well, there's 23 people, those are adults. Oh, as well. So we have 14 kids, which is right about 20%.
Okay.
So a little over 20%, which is exactly what we had last year. We were right at 20, last year at 75, and I think we had 24 kids, actual kids go last year. So we're right at 25.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you. Technology, Mr. Richardson.
Unfortunately, I also have something bad. We had some issues with our Comcast connection, which control at the grade school, which controls the phone lines for the district on Monday afternoon and Tuesday morning. We got that fixed, Tuesday, right around noon, I think is when I checked it, and the phones came back down. I had the Comcast tech, I met with him this morning. Apparently the issue was the line that runs into our building. They don't know exactly where. It's probably underground down that alley. But it was causing interference that was interrupting the service in like a 4-block radius around the school. So that's why they shut us off on Monday. And I ended up calling them. They couldn't tell me that, of course, because I don't get anybody in America when you call Comcast. So that's why I was unable to get the tech out until Wednesday. He told me that they were able to shut off 3 of the channels that run to our building, which fixed the interference problems, because currently there are 5 channels. So we're running on 2, which works for now. But he said once the weather gets better, they're gonna come out and rerun that line and fix everything. But with all the snow and the frozen ground, they're probably gonna have to dig, and they can't do it right now. But, so we're up and running now on, was that 2/5 of the power that we had before, but everything is still working fine. And then as soon as the weather gets better, we'll be back out there to fix it.
What was is it similar issue with the high school when the phone's down at the high school too?
So all the phones in the district run through that connection at the grade school.
Okay, so, okay.
So everything, that connection there too, which is, because this was down for longer than I expected, and longer than anybody wanted it to be, I'm working on rerouting and reconfiguring some stuff to run it back up to it for the future, so this does not happen again. Might take a little time for me to remember how to do this. I haven't reconfigured stuff in probably like 10 years, but I will get that taken care of. So I can reach out to you for it.
Any questions for Mr. Richardson?
Does that affect the internet also, or?
So luckily with the grant we got through ICN, AT&T is our internet at the grade school. So that did not affect the internet, just the phones.
So does the internet at the high school run through the grades?
No, so that is
Okay.
another separate fiber line, but Comcast has that one. This is, I had to bid it out, the state bid it out, and this is why I don't pay internet connection in either building.
Okay.
But to get it for free, to get it paid through the grants, we had to do Comcast at the high school and AT&T at the grade school.
Any other questions for Mr. Richardson? Thank you. Transportation, Mr. Wolf.
Nothing further to report. Nothing to report, actually.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Wolf?
No.
Thank you. Maintenance, Mr. Siddons.
I don't have anything else to add.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Siddons? Okay. Agenda item 10, do I have a motion to go into closed session at 6:31 p.m. to discuss the appointment, compensation, employee discipline, student discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body?
Second.
Roll call?
Motion by Hicks, second by Ludwig to enter closed session at 6:31 p.m. Hicks? Yes. Janeski?
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
Ludwig? Yes.
Yes.
Woodard?
Yes.
Park? Yes. Motion carried, roll call vote.
We have a motion to reopen, re-enter open session at 7:35 PM.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion by Lynn, seconded by Janeski to re-enter open session at 7:35 PM. Janeski?
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Woodard?
Yes.
Hart?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
Motion carried, roll call vote 3.
Agenda item 11, old business. I do not believe we have any old business for discussion. Agenda item 12, consideration and action. Any hiring is contingent upon completing the background checks and Faith's law compliance. Agenda item 12A, we have 2 recommendations. I'll start with option B. Do I have a motion to approve the option B, calling for $2.12 million to Verigy and $16,828 as collateral fees for the SREC process? Any solar O&M will be negotiated separately.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Motion by Janeski, seconded by Hicks to approve option B, calling for $2.12 million to Verigy, as presented. Lynn?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Woodard?
Yes.
Hart?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
Janeski?
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 4.
Agenda item 12B, we have a recommendation to approve the bus fleet quote from Midwest Transit that was recommended by Roger Wolf. This quote is a lease extension of 2 years for 8 72-passenger buses at $33,922 per bus per year. 1 72-passenger with luggage storage at $34,949 per year, and 2 59-passenger and 1 wheelchair bus. 2 59-passenger plus 1 wheelchair buses at $41,100. Do we have a motion to approve this recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
This is just refresh my memory, this is 2 buses less than we presently have?
I believe that's correct.
3.
Oh, 3, yeah. Yep.
3 buses less, and we keeping the old buses, the ones we've already leased?
That
This
is
is just an extension, we don't get anything new, it's just,
That is correct.
we're sending 3 buses back.
That is correct. We're keeping the current buses that we have and sending 3 of the current buses that we have back.
To a tune of about $100,000 in savings,
That is
correct? Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion?
Do we have the option to lease 1 or 2 buses? Is that if we have more enrollment and need them for routes?
I'm sure we could look into that, getting more if we need to get more.
Well, we talked about giving up one of the wheelchair buses. I mean, but I just didn't feel comfortable not having a spare wheelchair bus in case one was good, so. Because we only use one, basically that sub wheelchair bus we don't ever use, but it's like the compressor. If it goes, you're kind of out of luck, so we're keeping it too.
Any other discussion on this item? Roll call.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Woodard, to approve the Midwest Transit Extension Contract as presented. Ludwig?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Woodard?
Yes.
Hart?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
Janeski?
Yeah.
Lynn?
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 5.
Agenda item 12C, we have a recommendation to approve a test water well agreement with Prairie Path Water Company. A motion to approve the recommendation?
So moved.
We have a second. Any discussion? Roll call?
Who was my second?
Mark.
Thank you. Motion by Lynn, seconded by Janeski to approve the test water well agreement with Prairie Path Water Company as presented. Smith?
Yes.
Woodard?
Yes.
Hart?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
Janeski?
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 6.
Agenda item 12D, we have a routine mention. It's a semi-annual review of closed session minutes. I have a recommendation to keep the July through December 2024 meeting closed session minutes to remain sealed. I have a motion to approve the recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Waiting on you, Bob.
Roll call.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Lynn, to approve keeping the closed session minutes sealed as presented. Woodard,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski.
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 7.
Agenda item 12E, we have a recommendation to approve Terry King as the Oakwood High School softball assistant coach for 2025 and to approve Joey Smith for Oakwood High School volunteer assistant softball coach.
That's also
Is
listed
he
as
E and
F.
F? So
Pardon me?
Joey is
Yes.
also listed as F, so I think maybe you can strike it from.
Yeah.
Oh, that's correct.
It carried
Okay.
over. That should be two
Let's go and keep them
separate.
separate then.
Yes.
Motion, let's start with, do I have a motion to approve Terry King as the Oakwood High School softball assistant coach for 2025?
Yes. Make a motion.
second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Woodard, seconded by Hicks, to approve the employment of Terry King as presented. Hart,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Woodard.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 8.
Agenda item 12F, we have a recommendation to approve Joey Smith as the Oakwood High School volunteer assistant softball coach. So, motion to approve the recommendation.
So moved.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Hart, to approve volunteer Joey Smith as presented. Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Woodard,
Yes.
Hart.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 9.
Agenda item 12G, we have a recommendation to approve Hannah Guthrie for the volunteer for a volunteer transfer to long-term sub for primary special education. A motion to approve the recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Ludwig, seconded by Hart, to approve Hannah Guthrie transfer to long-term sub as presented. Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Smith,
Oh, yes.
Woodard.
My hearing aids died, I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Hart,
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 10.
Your thing.
I'll speak a little louder.
Thank you. Sorry. Agenda item 12H, I have a recommendation to approve the resolution to withdraw from the PSIC insurance for the 2025-2026 school year in order to solicit bids for workman's comp and property casualty insurance.
So we have to withdraw from them before we can bid things out. So they'll rebid this, but as part of their insurance co-op, you have to leave them for anybody else to be able to bid your insurance. It's kind of a racket. You have to,
There's no gas.
That's
right?
legal?
it's how they've got their self-insurance trust put together. So we have to let them know that we're leaving the pool to be able to get other people to bid. So yeah, apparently it is because they've been doing it for years.
What do you do for the insurance in the meantime?
No,
There's
it's just an
no
intent to withdraw. We don't even have to withdraw. They could rebid it and we would never withdraw. But you have to let them know that by July 1, there is an intent to leave their program if you get better insurance. Right.
Thank you.
It's just the procedural thing for them.
Technicality.
And again, there's nothing that prohibits us from going back in though.
Nope.
Okay.
It's just keeping them honest that they're giving us fair cost.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Hart, seconded by Woodard, to approve the resolution of withdrawal from PCIS as presented. Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Woodard,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 11.
Agenda item 12I, we have a recommendation to approve Tracy Carter for a personal aid position for the remainder of the 24-25 school year. The personal aid salary will be $15 an hour. Do I have a motion to approve the recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Hart, seconded by Lynn, to approve the employment of Tracy Carter as, Carter as presented. Ludwig,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Woodard,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski,
Yes.
Glenn.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 12.
Agenda item 13, new business. We do have none to discuss tonight. Do I have a motion to adjourn at 7:45 PM?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion by Lynn, seconded by Hart to adjourn at 7:45 PM. Smith,
that one.
Woodard, Hart,
I was gonna hesitate to say it.
Janeski, and Glenn.
Yes.
Everybody say aye. Everybody say aye.
Aye.
Good. We're good.